Body bags where horror lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Body Bags. It's week 194, and I'm your Sunday host, Bourgie86 here again. Yes, guys, as you know, it's that time for the Sunday review. The film I chose to do today is a film from 1995. It's a film that's this was a first-time watch for me. It kind of felt familiar to me in a way. Maybe I did see this back in the day, but it felt like a first-time watch to me anyways, because some things I kind of remembered. Maybe I did see this back in the day, but not really too sure, that type of deal. But this is the film Mind Ripper, but as it's known from this release as The Hills Have Eyes 3. Yes, as you see, they have the Mind Ripper title underneath, because that's actually the name of the title. It was also known as The Hills Have Eyes 3. Of course, this film is produced by Wes Craven, and it's actually written and I believe also produced by his son, Jonathan Craven, who of course went on to write the remake sequel, The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, with his dad. That's pretty much all I know about Jonathan Craven's career in film. I know he produced and wrote a few things with his dad. Pretty much the main plot of this one, we're introduced to our setup where there's this underground bunker area where they're doing this testing, and they developed this serum and they're injected into this human being that had this ill-fated accident type deal. And pretty much what this virus does is it's supposed to regenerate cells, but unbeknownst, they are also developing to try to make this guy into this superhuman soldier for the army. That's their main scheme and goal of the outcome of this project for them. Unbeknownst for them, they actually the project ends up going into this different direction, and something goes wrong. So they end up calling one of the former scientists who worked on this project, who actually resigned, James Stocking, who was played by Lance Henriksen. And pretty much we meet Lance Henriksen in this film, and him and his daughter and son, who are rebellious and iffy, are supposed to go on this camping trip. And he gets this call to go back and help with this experiment. And they have the bright idea, let's just go along with them, we'll just see what they need, and then we'll go on our camping trip type deal. Unbeknownst, this virus actually is accelerating growth into him and is actually mutating his body. And he ends up escaping, and pretty much it's kind of like the survival tale where these characters are trying to get out of this bunker complex and try to survive against this mutated superhuman guy, pretty much. That is pretty much the main plot of this one without going too crazy into it. No, my thoughts on it. Now, with a plot like that, you gotta think to yourself, when they advertise this as a sequel to Hills Have Eyes, it's very not a Hills Have Eyes film. If you watch this film knowing that, it's not that bad. It's its own film, because it is known as Mind Ripper. It's not supposedly known as Hills Have Eyes 3. That was a gist, a selling point to sell this film off, pretty much. But there is the only thing that's really similar to this film as a Hills Have Eyes film is probably it's set in the desert area, but you don't really get to see a lot of the desert area as well. You see it here and there, but it's not really a big major part of the film. Now, a film that this kind of reminded me of when I was watching it, it was kind of like The Terror Within. If you ever seen that, it's a Roger Corman creature feature from the late 80s, where it had the similar setting, but it was post-apocalyptic, and the creature was of course different. But I kind of did the setting of this film, in this underground bunker complex. A lot of it kind of reminded me of in that vein of The Terror Within or Leviathan, even though that's underwater. These contained project areas where they're doing research or something, and then shit goes back crazy and shit. But I did like Lance Henriksen in this film. He's this character that he plays this fatherly figure, and of course his kids are played by Giovanni Ribisi and what's the name of the actress? Natasha Gregson Wagner, who's actually Natalie Wood's daughter. She kind of looks like her mom in a way in the film. Kind of looks like her dad in some sort. It's kind of a mixture of both type deal. But they do actually good jobs in their roles. They play like those, like, you know, like those stereotypical like 90s teens in this film. And her boyfriend, his daughter's boyfriend in the film, I believe his name's Mark. He's like that stereotypical, like, when you first meet him, is like the stereotypical I want to get in your pants type guy. He's like using like these cheesy catchphrases and that type of shit. And it's funny in some scenes, but it's like, it was like reminding me of like watching like 90210 and shit back in the day, like those like cheesy like lines and that. It kind of reminded me of that, like his character, like his trying to get in her pants type deal. But really fun. Pretty much this isn't like an original film because I did see this before type deal, like with like the Terror Within. And the characters themselves, you don't really get to know them. There's a few like character development points, especially with like the father, daughter, and son relationship between Lance Henriksen and his kids in the film. But there's a lot of like flash forward and a lot of characters that we're supposed to know and stuff, because they have like that iconic scene that happens in like every movie, like the alien like dinner scene where like people just meet and eat before they like the movie starts type deal. It's like that type of scene that happens in the film, and we get to meet some of the characters there and get to know some of like the interaction, and we're supposed to follow these characters. It's very like a generic plot line and story, but it does have some cool effects I'll have to add to that. Like, even though I think the actual like mutant guy is kind of like ridiculous looking, because he kind of looks like a giant, huge ball like jack thing at the end. He does like transform and stuff like during the film too. I forgot to mention that. He does have like a few points where he's like changing, and you can see him changing type deal. But it's fun for what it is. It's not like the greatest film ever, but I had a decent time with it. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it a pass and give it like a 5.5 out of 10. It's nothing too mind-blowing, but it's still a watchable film. It's still worth a watch, in my opinion, especially if you're like these like contained, like numerous like horror films. Like I said, it's like not the greatest thing ever. It has like a lot of good points to it, but at the end of the day, it has a lot of like dull, like bland points also. So yeah, 5.5 out of 10 for The Hills Have Eyes 3, aka Mind Ripper, which is the title of the film, Mind Ripper. Funny shit. But yeah, 5.5 out of 10 for Mind Ripper. Alright guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll be back next week with another one, guys. Peace out.